This 2020-21 Vendée Globe Round the World Race Report is brought to you by Pantania's Professional Race Cover, your tailor-made racing yacht insurance.
KP, tell us, if you would please, what's going on a couple days before the start of the Vendée Globe, maybe the most exciting ocean race in the world. You've got, what, how many boats total?
33 boats, which is an amazing entry, and it will be a very exciting race. I'm really looking forward to watching it. Just the different styles of boats, a lot of new boats, a lot of different configurations of foil. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. It'll be a great sport to watch. I'm locked down in Europe now. I'm not allowed out of this flat, and I might have trouble getting back to the UK. So it'll be a great thing to watch over the next coming months, and then the Cup to follow on will be another good. So it'll be an internet winter.
Well, and they've shut the village down when France shut down. And I was talking with Andrew Pindar this morning. We're recording this on Thursday. And of course, you know that today they've locked down the UK again. And it sounds like for a month, maybe two, maybe through next March, Andrew was telling me. So I'm sorry to hear that, all our friends in Europe. And you are in the bubble. When the NBA did their thing down in Florida and kept everybody there at Disney World and successfully kept everybody, with one or two exceptions, a couple of players that went off to a strip bar or something. But you're all in the bubble there. You can only go between your flat, I guess, and the race village. Is that right? Can't see anybody else?
That's right. I'm totally confined to my flat. I can do my work on the boat remotely. So I'm just really in town for whatever reason, I don't know. But, I can get it all done from here.
So you're not even going down to the dock. You're literally confined 24/7 in your flat.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, that's our in-house rule, really. And within France, you need a permit. You need to have a piece of paper on you saying why you've left your house. So it's pretty tricky.
Yeah, you got to have a passport, and apparently you can't go more than a kilometer, and then it's only during 1 hour a day. We've been covering this. Another friend of yours, Andrew McIrvin, who is, of course, the Secretary General of the International Maxi Association, IMA, and an esteemed British doctor, a surgeon, and he's been on the show any number of times updating us on the COVID, and he has been right every time. He said, well, here's really what's going on, and a 3 weeks later, he was absolutely right. And probably time to get him back on. But we talked to Alistair Murray, who you will also know from your home country down in Melbourne and Victoria, and what the terrible lockdown they had. They're finally just emerging out of that, right?
That's right. They've had 100 days fully locked down. It was lockdown terrible.
So
worse than China.
You're in France. And the race starts on the 8th. You're with Alex Thompson. But as I understand it, all of our viewers probably know, it's single-handed, nonstop, around the world. And you are really a coach advisor helping him prep for the race. But during the race, you can do nothing, no contact, other than he can take what? Can he take grid files from you or from only that are publicly available, or what?
He can only get grid files and from publicly available sources, which they've limited to a couple of specific sources. Once in terms of weather advice and routing advice, when they're on start day, that's the last time, and that's it. They're on their own, and that goes for a lot of things. The race itself is without outside assistance. They can't stop in a port and take on or fix anything. They're on their own, self-reliance.
And if they do stop, is it a penalty or are they out?
If they stop and anchor in a place, a bay somewhere, and fix something, they can do it with the parts on the boat. But if they touch anything, or anyone touches their boat or gives them any spare part, they're out.
Right. Oh. And single-handed around the world alone, nonstop, it's got to be the toughest yacht race in the world.
Without doubt. You hear a lot of catchphrases in ocean race, world's toughest ocean race and all this sort of stuff. But the Vendée's miles ahead of that. It is very much the hardest race.
And notwithstanding, there are a handful of women. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6, but quite a number of women of the 33 entries. I think there were 6. I ran this on the show a couple of weeks ago. And maybe arguably the top woman is Samantha Davies. And what do you think of her chances?
I think good. She's got an old boat with a new oil package on it. I think she's got a very good chance. I mean, a good thing about an old boat is that, it's proven, it's probably strong, it's been beefed up, I would have thought, and it'll be dependable. And, at least half this fleet won't finish, certainly won't finish intact. So everyone's got a good chance if you finish.
As they say in Formula One, to finish first you've got to finish, and that's one of the big challenges, obviously, in the Vendée as well. So how about your guy? How about Alex Thompson from the UK? You are one of the celebrated ocean racing navigators, strategists, weather guys in the sport, and you're telling him now what? Here's where to jibe if the conditions are thus and such. What kind of advice are you giving him pre-race now?
Right now, we're just looking at this, as we get closer and the forecasts are getting more reliable, we're looking at the exact scenario of what sail to put up off the start line and the choices you have. And really, after the first night, in the situation that's developing now, he'll be relatively, apart from a bit of strategy we set up, he'll be on his own, because you're only as good as the most recent forecast, and it's going to be changing quickly. So once we route him through the first day or two, he's got to make his own mind up.
So Alex has been a perennial favorite. He's been at the top of the fleet in TJVs and various other IMOCA 60 races, but he's had damage, he's had breakdowns, he's run into things. He's sort of almost like a perennial bridesmaid. What are his chances in this one, do you think?
His chances are good, but the boat's in great shape. It's done a lot of miles already, so it's already proven. It's just a matter of, all these boats are so different. They're going to have different modes all the time. It's just going to be able to finding the most of the best conditions for each boat. So they will go different ways, but this is one of the interesting aspects of just watching this race develop.
Who would you say is Alex Thompson's toughest competition?
Well, Choral's a good boat. They've had a bit more time and they've worked hard. Any of the top French teams are always favourites, but I like to think Alex and Hugo Boss are in a good place.
Cool. Well, it's really interesting. It's sad that the COVID has caused such problems in the sport, but bravo Zulu to the Vendée, and I know they've put everybody, all the sailors have been quarantined, and the job they've done to make this happen, and for that matter, everyone else around the world that is making sailing happen. You talk about cost. It's almost impossible now to get a flight to New Zealand, let alone a cheap flight, because the capacity has been cut back. Then when you do, you have to, as Brad Butterworth just did when he went down, because he's now helping the Challenger of Record, and he lives in Europe, he lives in Switzerland, and he flew down, and then he talked about it on an interview I ran with one of the TV stations down there last Friday, I think it was. And, you sit in a hotel at someone's expense, not at the government's expense, for, it's reasonably pleasant. He said he had a view out in the harbor, but still, you're sitting there for 2 weeks, you're tested twice, and life's, for a lot of people, too short to have to go through that kind of a quarantine. I don't think I'm going to go down for the Cup.
Yeah, I don't even know if New Zealand are letting people in. I don't know. And it's hard. Yeah, it's put a lot of people off going down, and I don't know anyone outside of
you're right.
Working.
They aren't letting. They're letting their TV crew in, obviously, and other people who are I can't remember the term of art, the word, but who are essential, I guess is probably the word, to the conduct of the event. But a bloody journalist like myself, who can almost, not quite, can almost do it as easily from here. We're all learning how to do it. We can sit here in our little studio here in San Francisco and cover, as we do, the Fastnet race and the Sydney Hobart and everything else. And we'll cover the Vendée from here and learn to do it remotely, like you kindly coming on today and giving us this great insight into the Vendée, but also into the Great Cape race.
Taking your racing racing to the next level. Make sure your insurance is up to the challenge. Pantanius Professional Race Cover.
This 2020-21 Vendée Globe Round the World Race Report was brought to you by Pantanius Professional Race Cover, your tailor-made racing yacht insurance.